Alright, welcome back everybody. This is number 8 of the Outer Roads playthrough. That sky still looks gorgeous. Check what quests we got going on right now. So we just did one of the main ones. I guess we could return to the ship. I think we'll hand these 2 quests in first though. 3 quests in. And then we'll go to the ship just because those are all 3 Edgewater to hand in. I zoom out. Fast travel, Edgewater. Okay. See how long we can play for. Might be enough to get 8 and 9 of the playthrough, but have to see. Probably helps if I turn on the quests. Turn to Ludwig. How far away is that one? 25 meters that. Okay, well, let's go do this one. I think he's by the right by the launch pads for the ships, I think is what it was. Yeah, he's 140 that way. Oh, I realized that it's Skyrim that's making me try to run like that. I'm pressing the heal button instead of just the stick. It is what it is.
Never seen the Vale
Damn,
lit up
he
like
looked
this before.
scary in the dark.
You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a
We fixed it
passing
up.
fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years.
Cool, cool.
Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter.
That's valid.
On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop. Go on.
Question for you. What do you do
I'm
here?
Ludwig Miller, Associate Security Officer for Transportation. Officially? Unofficially? Strictly between you and me. I am the only thing standing between Edgewater and total annihilation. Go on.
I feel like there's another question. What do you have against mechanicals?
You ever seen the way a mechanical just stands there? Just looking at you. Scanning you with its murderous oculars.
Okay, old timer.
Mechanicals have been programmed to eliminate the human race. They've been programmed to replace us. First, they will rob us of our jobs. And once they have taken away our livelihoods, they will take away our very lives.
It's like real life. I'll let you be, old man. Alright. I think that's a vending machine. I'm gonna get the XP. Two different vending machines. What's the difference? Restricted stock. Okay. Some my junk though. Don't know how many pistols that gave me, but sure. Alright. Better be a cool weapon, better not be like a knife or something. Doesn't do much.
You think corporate's ever gonna visit? You're not a big drinker,
Don't mind
are
me,
you?
I just gotta check
Read
the
latest
bathroom.
report.
Sergeant said we ain't making our quotas.
If only McDevitt's
Oh, it's
folk
in
hadn't
there?
abandoned us. Cannery could use those extra hands.
Pick up sealed
Nothing we can do
bundle.
about that.
Sure there is. We can have
Yeah.
another 0G.
Bartender.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm contractually obligated to recite company slogans to any visitors. You tried the best, now try the rest. Spacer's choice. Go ahead.
What's your
I
story?
don't see how that's any of your business.
That's fair. But I'm gonna persuade you to tell me anyways.
You're the first to ask after me in some time. I'll give you that. But I don't have a story to share. My family's worked Spacer's Choice for 2 generations, and I've lived in Edgewater just about all my life. Wanted to work in the sciences once upon a time. Would you believe it? That was a wild fancy. Glad I disabused myself.
I had a dream of being a scientist. What happened?
What happened, you ask? What always happens when you're dreaming? I woke up. I just didn't have the brains for it. Asked too many questions. Wasn't suited to the work. So I did the right thing and worked the life I was always meant to live. Now that I'm behind a bar, I can ask all the questions I want. Important ones. Like, when are you gonna pay your tab? And would you like another round of cold, refreshing 0G?
Asking questions is the foundation of science. Best scientists ask too many.
Don't talk to me that way, please. Spent many years disabusing myself of that notion. Don't need you putting it back in my head.
Put it back in there.
Lab work ain't for me. Never was. Never will be. Spacer's Choice put me where I belong, and for that, I am grateful. What's wrong with that? It's good, honest work. Pots and pans don't scrub themselves. Glasses don't fill themselves either. Unless you're in Byzantium. I hear everything's automated there.
I was gonna say
Not that I'll
mechanicals.
ever find out. They did. They gave me a life. Gave me a purpose. This is where I belong.
Thanks for the
Not
story.
so fast. I told you about my life. Your turn to tell me about yours. So, what's your story?
You wouldn't believe it if I told you. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'll tell you some other time. Not on Williams, yeah. Trying to figure that out.
What's there to figure out? Stands to reason you work for a company. You ain't Spacer's Choice. Could be you're with Auntie Cleo.
What? Cleo worker. I don't work for any company. More to life than the company you work for. Oh
That's
yeah.
exactly the kind of crazy talk that comes from an overabundance of sobriety. Well, good luck trying to figure yourself out. Sounds like you'll need it.
Thanks, Amelia.
Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum.
Mhm.
Look, I don't know what you're blathering about. If you took a blow to your skull, you really should settle down with some 0G. Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business. Only deserters and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning.
Well, a bunch of deserters are gonna come and say hi soon.
Let me make something clear.
Sounds like you're free to go
Spacer's
outside.
Choice has been real good to me. The town's been real good to me. I start gallivanting around outside the walls, poking around in places I shouldn't be, learning things I've got no right to know. People will talk. Won't ever catch me asking about the world outside. Else the town's gonna say Amelia's gone soft. That Amelia's pondering desertion. I don't want that.
It's a mistake living your life on everyone else's
There
turn.
you go with that thinking again. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's dangerous? I've said enough. People come here to drink their problems away. If they wanted to face their problems, they'd go see our vicar.
Thanks. Nice goggles. Bunch of random NPCs, residents, cleaning record, and then a Winslow. I really feel like talking to you. Already in here, let's do
Canary's been
the
running at
course
full capacity.
quickly.
For the old day.
Tomorrow.
Must be all that extra.
Oh yeah. Can either give it to the dying guy or to her.
Somebody's been running around town raving about a colony ship. Plague must have gone into their brain matter. Oh, I'm an actuary. That means I keep tabs on a worker's living expenses. How much it costs to feed, clothe, shelter, bury, and replace your average human worker. Technically, I'm employed by the Spacer's Choice Department of Human Resources.
Gotta read that quest again. What did she want it? Abernathy believes he's dying. He wants a special catch of it found in the Emerald. Esther confronted you outside Abernathy's house and suggested that you should give the medicine to her instead of Abernathy. But why again?
I've got
Okay.
some time. Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it.
Ah, right, that
Here.
was it.
Something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types.
Not that simple. You want my son? You're gonna have to buy it. Never. That's harsh. At least leave me something to remember me by. Yeah.
You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you, I kept a little contingency fee in case you tried to negotiate with me.
Curious who are you gonna give that medicine to?
Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room?
Nice. Wonder what he's gonna say now that I didn't give it to him.
Somebody's been running around talking about the Hope. Wonder if that's a new drug of some kind.
It was me. I've been talking about the Hope.
You what? But why? I was dependent on you. Does it feel good? Robbing an old man of his last shred of hope?
You're not gonna die.
Betray a man in his final hours? Of course. I understand. Hell, I'd probably do the same to you, given the chance. So,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
here
exactly.
to watch me die, or what?
Sure. Let's see. Why are you just looking at yourself? You're gonna die. At least let me take your stuff. You don't need any of it. Exit indoors. There's all your things. You really don't have much, do you? Okay. Did that one. Let's go to the Vicar. Oh my god.
Had your rations yet?
Oh, Kansas Salt Tuna. Oh. Why are you standing now? So weird. Oh, like tail on your. Yeah, you do. Yeah, okay. Did I just move through you? Nice. You don't get in the way like Lydia.
It's a fine new day in Edgewater. The cannery hums, streetlights and faces glow. I suppose this means the two of you were able to sort out the matter? I am somewhat taken aback by that. Given the heat between her and Mr. Thompson, what deal did you strike with her, I wonder?
Not gonna tell people. She's taking up courses to improve the soil. Here's your book.
Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices I... Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn.
Book seems a bit more important than you let on. Yeah, obviously you're writing, but don't you think anyone that book to keep it for yourself yet?
Well, yes. But I assure you, it was not for personal gain, only for the greater good.
Sure.
I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted.
You should still have your mission working to give your life a meaningful purpose. Why did you think the book held the secrets you're looking for? This has to be some kind of cosmic retribution, plague-ridden backwater. What happened to all the crap about leading the Falk? Why do you think the book held the secrets you're looking for?
Bokonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony.
It's a philosophist. Vicar searching for a banned book sets a bad example, doesn't it? At least you still have your mission work to give your life meaningful purpose.
Please. As if my life should have no greater meaning than proselytizing to a bunch of feeble-minded wretches. Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next Aetherwave program. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew.
Could be a beneficial arrangement. You need to ride out of town. I wouldn't mind a ship hand. What's in it for me?
Free spiritual counseling, someone to watch your back, not to mention a grown-up in the party.
I'm 28.
Huh.
Exactly. I'm pretty handy with a toss-ball stick, or any
fuck
blunt
you do.
instrument, really. I'm also a passable gun hand, if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well.
Okay, you just have a lot of skills. Deal. Is that all part of your Vicar training? I'm sure I'm in the market for a hacking, brawling Vicar. Maybe some other time. That's funny.
Well, understanding computers is, though I admit I took it further than most. And I was quite the 32nd back during my seminary days. Left many an opponent bleeding on the field. Of course, I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. More dedicated than any other you'll find in this colony. I joined the OSI to help decipher the grand plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in a prison due to ignorance and politics. Then I came here. Satisfied?
Yes. How did you get assigned to prison duty, though?
Most laypeople are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long, long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's the long and short of it. So, what do you think?
Sounds good. Let's go.
Fantastic. I promise you won't regret this.
Edgewater's gonna miss you. Folk here always had good things to say about their vicar.
Thank you, Ms. Holcomb. I'll be glad for the change of scenery. And to leave this place behind. It is my esteemed pleasure to serve as your crew vicar, Captain.
Sick. I got 2 of you now? Vicar Max can now join the party.
I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. I'm sure you know what that's like. Something vexing you, Captain?
I'd like to know something about those I'm flying with. What's your story? Oh, yeah.
Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just your run-of-the-mill vicar with a violently enthusiastic disposition. That's what my parents called it. I grew up in a pit of a town much like Edgewater. I was destined to be a laborer like my parents, but I was infected early with a need to solve the equation. My passion didn't sit well with them.
Were they not religious?
On the contrary, they internalized the precepts of scientism like no one I've ever known. They had a pure faith, a faith that brought joy to them regardless of the situation. I envied that. I wanted that peace. I thought if I became a vicar, I could find it. Or at the very least, find out why I lacked it.
Weren't they proud when he became
They
a vicar?
thought I was fighting the plan, should have accepted my lot. Some people pursue the clergy for power, prestige, but that was not me.
You can't help but follow the plan, then everything you do is part of it, right? Then yours sounds like a convenient way to control the masses. Yeah.
The plan is not one rigid path. There are a variety of multitudes contained within it. Our paths have variance, but we'll end up adhering to it, whether we like it or not. Some choices make the path smoother, some rougher. You can even go outside the lines, but the further outside you go, it's like an unbreakable elastic band. It will only stretch so far before it snaps back. The further it is stretched, the more violent the eventual correction.
Seems quite trusting of you to sign it without knowing
I
anything.
have run headlong into too many walls in my pursuit of the truth. This book is my last hope, and you were my only hope of getting it translated.
Makes sense. Actually, what if the book doesn't have the answers?
I honestly don't know what I'd do. This quest has consumed me for the better part of my life. I fear there's nothing else left to me. What about you? What's your story?
Was a colonist on the Hope, a scientist named Wells saved me. Thrill seeker, lover, great renown, love a good adventure. I'll be honest.
And how did he do that?
He stole my body from the Hope at the edge of the colony, thawed me out. Sure.
Well, you do seem different than every other colonist. Let's pretend for the moment I believe you. What are you going to do now?
Helping him recover more of the chemicals he needs to save the rest of the colonists.
That seems a dangerous proposition. Why risk your life now that it's been returned to you?
Fair question. Family on the Hope, my friends are on the Hope. We don't even know if that's true. Just because it's the right thing to do, he's gonna laugh at that.
A commendable attitude.
He says that and looks away. Tell me again about the book we picked up that's in French. I don't need that. Any ideas where we can find someone who speaks
I've been
French?
thinking on that. There's a former infamous philosopher scholar who fled Terra 2 some years ago. He's an expert on Baconu. He's also who told me of the journal's presence in Emerald Vale. If anyone in this colony could translate that book, it would be him.
Sounds good. How do we find him?
That's a good question. We should start on the Groundbreaker. It's where I'd go if I wanted to get off Terra 2. Great place to pick up a ride to Hephaestus, Scylla, even Monarch. All I need is access to a data cartridge from the security terminal. Their easily hackable system keeps a registry of all crew manifests for both arrivals and departures.
You? How will crew members help us track down your squad? I mean, that's pretty obvious. How's it that a simple vicar happens to be such a highly skilled hacker?
Before I transferred to Edgewater, I had a wealth of time to develop certain secular skills during my years serving a particular penitentiary flock. I meditated, led sermons, provided guidance to the inmates as needed, of course. I also played prison yard tossball and taught myself a bit about computronic security systems.
Sounds good, let's go.
Thank you, Captain.
Nice, he's nice and calls me Captain. You have
That
anything
was
to
a
say?
good thing you did, Captain. Helping to bring the deserters and Edgewater folks back together. I hope you rest well on that. In the bar? When I asked if you were a drinker? Sorry. I know, it's none of my business.
Going to guess you're not a drinker yourself. I don't make a habit of imbibing. You're right, it isn't.
Strong drink makes me sick. And it makes me real sad. I start thinking about things I oughtn't, and then... Well, never mind that. You got better things to think on. Sorry.
If you want to talk about it, I'm happy to listen.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
Get back at it then. You guys both gonna come with? Cool, let's go. I should have handed that in to you earlier. We could have had you running around the entire time.